with a boob job, and I'm here with Ryan. No, I'm Hobbyistgirl, aka Sophie. Brinley's not here. He's having technical difficulties.
That's going in this year's highlights reel. 100%.
Oh God! In the first 20 seconds.
I like it. That was good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to AUSHAMMER. Obviously, Ryan joined tonight by Hobbyistgirl. Sophie, how you going?
I am good. Fucking tired, but good.
What time is it over at the moment in your hometown of Texas in Mississippi?
No. New York. It is.
Oh, in Canada. Sorry, yeah.
5:26 a.m.
You'll have to excuse us. We don't.
I'm not. I guess I wasn't that much out of coffee.
We always this is why we don't invite New Yorkers on the show.
Yeah.
Right? Bloody hell, you Canadians, I tell you. All right. So I guess first of all, welcome to AUSHAMMER. Glad that you could make it.
Thank you.
And yes, Brinley will try to join us if he can. He is having some technical difficulties, but for me, that's a good thing because it means I don't need to listen to the 40K news. I'm an AOS guy. So is there anything 40K news related, Sophie, that you would like to mention?
Other than really, like, I'm not familiar with it, but there's a whole lot of hype around the is it Custodes or Custodes? I've heard both. I don't know what the fuck is right or not because I don't play them. But a lot of people are really hyped at the Custodes release, and the dildo bikes look a lot better than the Forge World ones.
They do. I'm hoping that one of them comes in purple with a little dolphin. Yeah. Myself, but we'll have to see.
I look at everything as far as sprue breakdown because I see everything as just piles of bits.
Sure,
and
you do.
I'm really looking forward to picking up that kit. I think I might do some Def Coptas out of it because the breakdown is really nice.
So basically what you're saying is that you're going to buy some of the new Custode Space Marine looky stuff and make orc shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty orcish of you.
And hopefully piss off a gamer or two.
Oh, there will be so many Sandy nerds out there over that. I look forward to it. So for those of you who are listening tonight, in the description of this chat, there is already a link to the Hobbyistgirl website and also to Twitter. I will give you 10 seconds of silence right now to click on one of those links and like and subscribe and all the cool stuff. So ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Keep doing it when we're talking as well. Other news would be there's a whole bunch of AOS releases that are coming out. I know you're 40K, Sophie, so bear with me here. There's the Dark Oath War Queen. There's the Moo Clan Snazgar Stinkle Mullet. There's the Night Haunt, Knight of Shrouds, the Lord Ordinator, the zombies and the Morghast, I think, or at least the zombies, got a rebox. So that's right, folks. You can pick up the exact same models all over again, but in a different box. The Malign Portent stuff comes out, so the cards, the dice are out, and so's that little measuring tool, the combat gauge. The Battle Tome for Legions of Nagash, I think, is available Friday, something like that. It's already available for pre-order anyway. Then there's the War Scryer Citadel, which I can't afford at the moment because in Australia, to get one of those, you have to sell your car, remortgage your house, and pretty much, you know, sort of like hostage out one of your kids until it's paid off. And then there's also, actually, it's not 40K, but the Horus Heresy, The Burden of Loyalty.
Right.
That is either out soon or out already. So keep an eye out for all of that sort of stuff. So that's it. News-wise, hobby-wise, I have been building these little things here. Now this is a
Those are
Morghast
awesome
Mark 5
models.
for my So everybody probably already knows already that I'm starting a Death Army, of course, because I am a trendsetter and nobody else is doing it at the moment. So why not? Yeah, so those down, and then they're actually stuff that I've had kicking around for ages, but I'm really bad with hobby. So Nagash, I need to get sorted, and then should be good. Shout out to Timmy, who just finished painting the last of my Graveguard and my White King. Love you, bro. Anyway, that's me. Sophie, though, I'd like to spend more time on your hobby because you're much better at it than me. So tell me, what have you been up to?
I've been up to a few things. Mostly my orcs lately. So historically, I have been a hobbyist only. I haven't played at all. And late 2017 and 2018 has seen quite a few games under my belt. And I've joined an escalation league. So I've been working on orcs for that. Trying to meet each deadline because I want to have it all painted and everything by the next escalation. And yeah, it's next weekend, so the deadline is fastly approaching, but I've been working on those. Just a couple of things on my workshop here. I've got a few bikes that are coming. I'm doing Speed Freaks, and here's these that are coming along. Just minor conversions to the fronts. My battle wagon that I have started. That
is badass.
Kind of going for more of a big rig sort of thing. And then the piece that I'm not looking forward to painting at all is my big mech on Warbike conversion that is used from a Doom wheel.
A Doom wheel, or it could be one of those transport devices I saw in a South Park episode once, but we won't go there.
Yeah, so that's my current project. It goes along with the 500 points that I've already finished, which I think is I can pull out, but they're all stored in my handy dandy.
No, don't. You've already almost covered yourself in coffee. I don't think you cover yourself in miniatures. But I do like what I'm seeing there. And is it just me, or like does orc stuff remind you of like something that you definitely want in your garage if the zombie apocalypse came?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like some spikes, some you know, rust, and definitely.
It's like that's every time I see orc vehicles, I'm like, zombie apocalypse. Like those guys are prepared. That's what they were doing. See, they're also getting ready for zombie apocalypse.
Well, it should remind you of just looking outside your window because it's very Mad Maxy, and isn't that what Australia's pretty much like? If I've learned anything, is that yeah, you guys just drive around shooting at each other.
Yeah, that's basically it. But there's also
in the dirt.
Yeah, there's also drop bears and that dude from Wolf Creek. But other than that, yeah, you're pretty much bang on. That's exactly how it is. And with you guys, I heard that everybody just basically puts a suit of armor on over their skirts and runs around yelling at each other. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's terrible. So
well, I was gonna say it's very similar. We drive around and shoot each other, but we do it with more rap music.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like we've got Hilltop Hoods, and you guys have got. What is he? Is he Snoop Lion now, or has he changed his name again?
I have no. I can't keep up
anymore. Bloody hell!
This is enough of a hobby for me. I can't take on another one.
So actually, that's a good point that we'll get back to a bit later on as well.
Okay.
Stuff that you do whilst you hobby. So you mentioned that you're entering competitions now, and that's something new for you, yeah?
Yeah.
How's it been so far?
It's been 50-50. My first game, Granted, I was still kind of grasping the rules, but orcs. If you're not aware, we don't have codex yet, so we're still using the handy dandy index.
Oh, cry me a
That
bloody river.
no, I was tabled turn 3 by some close combat wraith guard, and it was a grand old time. And then my second game, I played some Ultramarines, and they didn't have any Primaris, and I won so badly that I bought the kid dice. Yeah, like
Oh,
he was an Ultramarine player, and he was using Zinch dice, and he didn't. I rolled shockingly. Orcs can't shoot, like, so I barely even like. Sometimes I forget to do my shooting. It's like, well, I'm not going to hit anyway, so I just want to charge and beat you up. So like I think in my shooting phase, I almost wiped out one of his tactical squads, and yeah, it was bad, and it was only 500 points, so it was just 2 tacticals and a land speeder. So there wasn't a whole lot of wiggle room for any sort of fuck ups. So um, when he didn't remove one model from me, he was using Zinch dice the whole time, and I'm like, well, that's clearly your problem. You're using Zinch dice in your Ultramarines. So I went over, like, because I was just like, I couldn't believe that I had just. I'll use a term that I don't like, but I'm trying to get more. I pushed his shit in so badly that I went over and I went over and I bought him the Ultramarines dice because I'm like, here, you need to use these. Yeah. I hate that.
so
I hate
what?
it, but like, so my friend and my co-streamer, Scott Ferguson, he's at Brush Wizard. He introduced me to that. I'm like, that's a fucking awful term. Why would you ever say that? And ever since then, I've slowly worked it more and more into my
Because
vocabulary.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's poetry.
Because of its disgustingness. So it's like Nurgle, you know. It's
Yeah.
just love at the same time. You just got to let it happen. Just got to let it happen.
You know,
So basically, what's happened is, well, what you're saying is, you fisted some poor guy, you bought him some dice, and you really don't like the fact that you don't have the right book for your greenskins yet.
It's
And that's
really I guess I don't know enough about the game to know if that's what it is, or I'm just really bad at it.
Hey, look, I'm keen to have a game against you and lose on purpose so I can get some free dice.
Oh my god.
I mean, GW dice here are like $50. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, they're expensive. They're about 40 something, I think. So yeah, it sucks. So you know, that's I don't know if they call it plastic crack where you are, but that's certainly what it's like down here. All right, so you've been sort of on the hobby scene for quite a while, though, not game related. The website, obviously, I alluded to it earlier, hobbyistgirl.com. How long's that been up for now?
Not very long. Probably since maybe September. It's been something that I was hounded on. Like, you need to get a website, get your stuff out there. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Like, no one's gonna go to my website. No one's gonna. And eventually, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do that. And that's where the whole website started, and then Twitch streaming, and then it's just kind of been an downhill avalanche for social media everywhere.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this later because I'll end up subscribing and then I'll never get any work done because I'll be watching pro painting. But what's your Twitch channel?
It is, well, we do a multi-Twitch because it's a dual stream. I'm Hobbyistgirl on Twitch as well, and our Twitch stream is called Painting and Swearing. Between me and Brush Wizard.
That's cool.
What's that?
That's basically Friday night at my place.
Yeah.
Winning. All right, so definitely have to check that one out as well. Definitely.
And it's Monday and Thursday nights, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's super
So
early for.
your Thursday night is our Friday morning.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. I can. Well, you know what? I owe you one anyway because you did get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So.
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it. This is fun.
We can do
and
that.
I took
Now,
the day off of work, so it was a good
are you
excuse.
for real?
Yeah, I'm not going to work today. Fuck that. I had to get up at 3 in the morning. I'm not
That is the
going to
most
work.
amazing.
I took the day off of work for you.
Bradley, where are you?
And I had to explain that to my boss too of why. Like I didn't have to. Like I can just take a day off. But like in chatting, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on this YouTube show for the shit I paint, and they already know that I'm fucking terminally nerdy anyway. So like they're like, oh, like that's interesting.
That's it. That's interesting. And as you walk off, they like look at each other and like,
fucking weirdo.
Fucking nerds, man. I don't know what the fuck's going
Yeah.
on with it. So obviously we've been catching up for quite a while, bouncing things backwards and forwards. You were supposed to come on the show a bit earlier. However, I screwed up some dates. You were asleep still, and the both things just didn't really work out too well. But it's been really cool because it's given me a chance to sort of understand your hobby, because 40K I've tried to play it and it just doesn't do it for me. But so a lot of the miniatures are really cool, and yours stick out a lot, and your work sticks out a lot because the models that you're painting are very straightforward in that if you were ever to try and have a conversation with one of them, they'd just be like, mate, you're a dickhead. Like they'd just tell you straight up. And and the whole army works that way. It's a very straight up sort of honest sort of army, and your painting seems to be very much like that as well. What was it about the orcs? Like for me, that's what I like about them. You just get them straight away. But what was it that really attracted you to the orcs?
So I was attracted to the orcs. That makes it sound very sexual. Like I don't have an orc fetish.
Sure you don't. Sure you don't. You heard it here first, everybody.
Don't look at my browser history. Rule 34.
Delete.
Delete. So back in I'll date myself here a little bit. Back when I first got into this with friends, it was around when we graduated, around like 1997, 98-ish. And me and a friend split a box of the old second edition, which was Space Marines and the old pointy hat Goths. And I liked them because back then they were super goofy. Like they were adorable. They were awful. I mean, they blew themselves up half the time. I didn't win a game at all with any of them, but I just loved the charm of you could have, and I still love that they're goofy. They're a goofy army, like, but they also have serious aspects. Like I can make like menacing looking things, but I can also have grots that have that tongue in cheek humor.
And
yeah. So that's really where, like, I don't feel like you get that with like Space Marines or Tau or anything like that. That like Nurgle is the only one that like because the Nurglings that they've been coming out have been amazing, and they're very reminiscent to that. Like here's this menacing thing and also this adorable like comic relief to it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of personality in them, and I think that's where I get that honesty from. Like the army seems very honest because the personality is right out there for you to see. Whereas like Space Marines, for example, you can buy some Space Marines and you can paint them, but they all look the fucking same, and they all look emotionless and just mad. Like I mean, they can pose and one's pointing and one's going whatever, but like. None of them are breaking a bone in their mouth, and none of them are, have these wacky striped pants on or those. You know what I love? The boots. How their boots have the spikes going all the way around them, like that. Like stuff like that's just really cool. So the army does appeal to me as well. And then there's the whole Mordaka and all that sort of stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
But have you ever given any thought to like maybe another army?
Well, I did my sisters recently. I don't know if I'll ever play them, but my Armies on Parade was Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
Um, because like everyone else, I'm tired of the metal models, and I wanted to see if I could do it. I wanted to see if I could do a conversion slash sculpting project in a short amount of time. I think I gave myself about a month and a half to do. I wanted to do about 1,500 points of them on a board for Armies on Parade, so with a strict deadline. And it was a really nice challenge. I learned how to sculpt floors in like seconds. Like I could bang out a floor like you wouldn't believe. Like just quick and on to the next one. And that's kind of my second army. Um, if I was to do an actual army to be serious about, though, and not just kind of like a can I do this kind of test, I think it would be probably Thousand Suns.
However, there has been a recent release that's really got you interested in a different system.
Oh, yeah.
Is it, would you like to maybe sort of
You mean
come out a little
this?
bit and, oh, there it is.
That, yeah. No. That will see me. When I saw that, I'm like, huh. I'm gonna be playing Age of Sigmar. Yeah, super excited.
So what's next after that box?
I'm so this box, and I'll probably get another box of Witch Owls, and then I'll go from there. It depends on when they release. If they release, then it's going to be shoving as much money as I can at whatever's pre-order. Uh, whatever goes up for pre-order. If I finish those and nothing is up yet, they're still kind of releasing, 40K stuff or malign important stuff. I will probably deviate from these a little bit, and because it's order, I might still stick with the Dark Elves theme, but I really like the Hydra model. So
Yep.
I'm thinking I'll probably do a couple of those. Maybe I've been told that the Cauldron is a very good model game wise. So I think I might get another one of them, but with a new is it a battle tome for them?
Yep.
Yeah, I forget what the fuck they call it. Um, uh, with that,
Bloody 40K players.
yeah, it's a codex. Just call it a codex.
What? We're like
It's a codex.
80,000 years before you. So no, you follow us.
So I might do that, but with the battle tome coming out, who knows what's going to be changed or anything.
Yep.
So I might wait on that and just kind of pick up some other cool stuff that I like to go with that.
So I'm going to be honest here. You talk a real big game, but how are you going to get that past the Minister of War and Finance?
It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be literally. It's gonna be a fight. There's been a few heated discussions over hobby expenditures. There's been a few. More so recently since I became a GW employee, and I've just been like just my expenditure has like gone up 400%.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. The only other time I got that much stuff is when I bought my paint rack from I think they're Australian too, Back to Basics.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
That's where all the good shit comes from, all right?
Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, because that Victoria Miniatures also down there, like that's yeah, fantastic. But yeah, that was an argument as well because I think I dropped like 300 plus on that.
What?
Well, you gotta figure shipping too. Like, I mean, like to get stuff from you guys, it's like You think it's expensive to do that? Your shipping is like getting a mortgage and like selling it.
Please. You don't understand the struggle. All right. You got no idea. It's like, no, we're not even getting into that. We are not even going there because I swear I will reach through your screen and just yell at you. It is extremely expensive here, and GW does say that, it's because of shipping, but we pay like 30% more or something, which is a bit of a joke. So next time you're speaking to somebody from GW, if you could just tell them Ryan from AUSHAMMER said, stop being such a tight ass. You don't look like a fish's asshole at all. Loosen up a little bit and give us some reasonably priced miniatures. I would appreciate that very much. As an
on-call person, I definitely have a lot of pull. So I'll definitely throw that word in. They'll be like, you know what? We could listen to the word of like Duncan or something, but this on-call person, they seem like they know what they're doing.
Hey, Duncan's job is to get stuff painted, all right? Your job is to tell people when they're being arse-hats. There you go. All right, so before we get into your life of hobby and everything that you know, because tonight you are going to, I'm going to pick your brain, and all of that wisdom is going to shoot out at 5 o'clock in the morning and just go to everybody else.
Hold on 1 second. I was about to rip some hair out if I didn't get that on my face.
You were just doing the hair flippy thing?
No, it keeps on going right there in front of my face.
You could just like do it up like an orc.
With a top knot?
Yep, do it. We are going to have a game of Guess That Booty.
Oh, fuck.
That's pretty much everybody's reaction to Guess That Booty, except for mine and Brindley's.
It's the test. It's the quiz portion of...
It is. Now, this basically...
I don't study for quizzes. I never studied. I drank through most of my high school career, so...
I feel like that'll actually work out in your favor here. I will tell you that I do know that you're 40K orientated, so we've made this a 40K one, much to my disappointment. There is one of your orcs are in there.
Uh-oh. If I don't get that one, I think I get kicked out of the clan.
Yeah. Well, hang on. When I say yours, I just mean it's an orc. It's not actually...
Oh, no, I know. But, like, yeah.
Because you would definitely know that. Yeah. But I won't tell you which one it is. And I was going to add Thor's bum in there, but then I changed my mind because I've already seen that far too many times. Now, let me just share my screen for a moment, and we will get this game underway. If I can actually find the thing. There we go. Alrighty. So, guess number 1. Guess that booty.
Fuck. Is that a, what's he called? A Vindicare Assassin?
Oh, that's bullshit. Yes, it was.
Yes!
Now, Brindley's not watching this, actually, so I'm going to get myself a pen because Brindley's got all the crayons. And we are going to actually score you tonight because there is a leaderboard.
Check.
All right, so...
I appeared.
Damn, we were doing so well. Get your crayon out.
All right, hold on. I was going to have
you
to...
lazy bastard.
I had to use a crayon to bridge the electronic things in the computer, so it's going to have to be...
a highlighter. All right.
So, I was going to be like, is that your lipstick?
Yeah, oh well.
Really
not
big,
well, not tonight. This isn't my usual shade. My usual shade is a little bit darker, so...
Right.
But is it weird that that's not disturbing at all, and I just find that normal?
It's pretty standard for us.
Okay, cool. So we're already, so far she's got a 100% success rate. So she's doing pretty well. Okay. You missed 40k news, of which there was none because Brindley wasn't here. You missed a quick catch up about the sort of hobby that Sophie's been up to, what she's been doing, and soon I will berate her about her poor performance in getting people that are closest to her into the hobby. But that'll come later. And now we've just started Guess That Booty, and and she's already got one right, so she's doing okay.
Right,
but,
so we've got one so far.
Yep. So she got
one for one. It's all downhill from here.
And Brindley, in case you're wondering, I'm doing this all off my one computer tonight. That's right. I managed to find an application that worked. All right.
So you're only using one computer instead of like your usual 4 or 5.
Yep.
Right.
Don't judge me.
I'd say I'm proud of you, but I'm really just jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, my shit works. Okay, here we go. Guess that booty.
Oh fuck, that's definitely something Tau, I think, but
Tau.
I don't know the names of them. It's a Tau Weeb engine. I don't know what the name of them are. Yeah, you're gonna stump me on it.
As a Tau player, I'm just disappointed now. I'm just.
Are you
a Tau player?
Trying.
Just so I can buy time for Sophie to have a guess here. Mark Shaw just said, "What a wild Brindley appeared." Ryan used crayon. It was super effective.
out of nowhere.
Also,
is a crisis suit a thing?
Oh, it's a little bit bigger.
You're getting there.
Yeah. No. I'm just trying to think of the names that I know, which is not very much.
Keep guessing.
Actually, hold on. Is it a? Nope. That's the actual model the one model that I have of Tau.
Tau.
I have to take your final answer coming now.
Yeah, that was my final answer because I don't know the names of them at all.
It's a XV104, I think. It's a Riptide battle.
Riptide.
Oh, Riptide.
That's correct. Hello to the Miniatures Paintbrush. Hello to Mark Shaw. Hello to Scott. Hello to David. And hello to everybody else in the chat at the moment. It's going pretty cray-cray. Scotty's in there
everyone.
as well. Somebody has also said something about, if they weren't married. So things are going really good, apparently.
No, we're just.
I'm guessing that's not for me or Brindley.
Yeah, we're not. We're clearly.
Yeah.
Okay,
next one. Here we go, Sophie. Guess that booty.
Yeah, is that? I'm gonna guess Hive Tyrant.
Oh, that's really.
It's a Carnifex Brute.
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, we should probably stop using the NIDs because all their butts look really similar.
That's a them problem, not a us problem, Brindley.
But then we said that about all those male celebrities for Ladies' Night, and look where that
and to be honest with you, I would do worse then. Not that I don't look, but I would just do worse because.
Oh, that's all right. I'm pretty sure I can find some for you.
We'll find something.
Where are we? Here we go. Oh, also, by the way, the second name for this model is the mother-in-law. Next up.
Why is it the mother-in-law?
Look at it.
Look at those gigantic teeth and scything claws and hardened carapace to.
Yeah. Look at the misery it brings just by its presence.
You know, that's the sort of tyrant that wouldn't even take their shoes off when they come to your house. They wouldn't even like.
It's definitely showing its teeth and aggression when it smiles.
Exactly.
So
and not only that, but
smiling.
It judges you before it kills and eats you slowly. So
they're like most mother-in-laws, really. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guess that booty.
Shit.
No, that's not correct. But
no, it's not.
It was close.
It's fairly close. It is Eldar, so shit, yes.
Yeah,
I will almost
it's Dark
accept
Eldar.
That. I feel like that's a half mark.
Is it? I don't think it's one of the witches. That's gonna be my guess because I'm bad at those names as well. I know it's wrong.
It's an incubi. I think it looks like a
Pikachu.
Well, it sort of looks like a dude crying in a hockey mask. But
Oh
okay.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
really angry, like an angry Canadian.
Moving on. Yes, you're right though. Here we go. I'm
He
hoping
spilled
you
his
get this one.
Labatt's and he's crying.
Yeah, told him
Guess
ice
that
hockey
booty.
stuff.
Oh, that's the
You can do it.
ridiculous engine, the Lord of Skulls.
Oh,
Correct.
oh, that's two.
And
That's
is
two.
that? I'm sorry, we have to stop here and just
He's
appreciate.
squatty as fuck.
This
I
is
got plans for that model, but it's definitely not that.
Oh, he is thick, thick for
He's
corn.
very thick,
He's
yeah.
a thick boy.
that is absolutely insane.
And
though.
he's got a lot of girth to him, but not a lot of length. I mean,
Well,
I
but
don't
it's
know.
all, it's all about that girth, though. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
everybody
You can
knows
do a
when
lot
it
with a
comes
lot
to
of
the.
girth,
Well, no,
like-
see, everybody knows that it's not the miniature that matters; it's the box you put it in.
Right?
that's right. It's like
All
the
right,
shape,
so
all the yeah.
that's two.
That's two.
Isn't bad. That's 2 out of 5.
I gotta
Are we only up to 5?
rally up, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you got this. You got this. You've only got to do. You only got to
Guess
get
that booty.
2 more, and you're beating
What
Gav
the
Thorpe.
fuck is that?
That's a good question.
What the fuck? I can't even recognize that
I
as
reckon-
anything.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents into the ring. I feel like it's something elder, probably a dancing type. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm
like
not
a
really
Harlequin.
Yeah,
I can
maybe.
kind of see the dancing because it looks like
Yeah.
it's like.
I will say congratulations to both Mark Shaw and Objective Secured, and hello Trev Hammersley as well, by the way. Objective Secured and Mark Shaw have got it right. It is indeed Solitaire.
Oh,
Unfortunately, there's no points for Sophie.
Yeah, I really dig
No.
the cloak on that mini.
yeah,
Anyway.
that is cool.
It's pretty sexy.
Okay. Next up, moving on. Guess that booty.
You want a hint?
Shut up, Brimley, and I swear to God.
Yeah, I'll take a hint.
Right, it's another elder
What?
Um,
God damn it.
for sure.
well, I was gonna say it looks like a striking. Is it striking scorpions?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's 3. You only need 1 more, and you're tying with Gav Thorpe.
Oh!
Oh.
I have to beat Gav.
Yeah, you can brag then, and then we can get him back on the show.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hang on a second. Where we at? There we are. Okay.
You got this? You good?
Drum roll. Guess that booty.
Oh, that's a great unclean one.
You can do this.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work. It is.
Tied for Gav.
So, Hobbyistgirl and Gav.
God, I love that model. I
All the
love that
time.
model.
How many more have left? How many more miniatures you got to guess?
2 more. Can I just say though, how amazing is this model?
It's so awesome. I love the one I don't even know what it's called, but it's the one that has the fucking face on the outstretched hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But this
It's
model
got that
is
like
actually
the cowl.
really big. Like it's a big model, like a big chunk of plastic. It's huge.
Well, it's comparable to the Forge World one, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I want the sword, at least just the blade of the sword, for Nagash. Because
that'd be cool.
look at the skulls all inside it.
That'd
Like,
be
that's
really
just-
cool.
Yeah, I'd fix it up with green stuff and stuff because it needs some work. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
I love that. That is so good. Okay, here we go. Second to last one. Guess that booty.
Is that a pink horror?
That's your guess?
Yeah.
Herald
No.
of
Fuck.
So close.
Here we go. Last one, Soph. Guess that booty.
Oh,
Oh shit! It's an orc too. Fuck. It's not
No.
one that I know
It's not
though.
that.
Oh no. I need to get this one.
You do need to get this one.
You do actually need to get this one. No pressure.
Oh fuck.
Hey Ryan, did you do all the events?
Negative.
All right.
Is it
We can do that after
is it the mech model?
Ooh.
Yes!
Hey, there we go. Look at that. 5. You are beating Gav Thorpe by 1. Congratulations, Sophie. You have essentially taken out the crown for Guess That Booty champion 2018. Close seconded by Gav Thorpe, and then third by some random dude.
So far, though, we're only in February, so.
And we do have Graham McNeil and Dan Abnett coming on, so you might.
Oh, did you just give away something that we haven't given away yet?
Nah, you might lose a
spoiler alert.
Oh, no one watches this anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were, and then as soon as you got on, suddenly the numbers dropped. I don't know why. There's something weird there.
They're like, we're out.
That's it.
So what was my
shout out to Mark. I would allow your comment, however, we don't allow the C-bomb in our chat or anywhere else.
Really? So that's one of my favorite words to use. Like,
I know, but so it was he was talking about
cactus, coyote,
one of the miniatures, and how it's not fun to paint.
Oh, okay. I was hoping someone called me that. I was like gonna be flattered.
We would never do that to your face.
Oh no! I tell my friends to call me that all the time.
All right, so yep, you were currently holding the champion's belt for.
What was my percentage? Was it a solid 50?
It was a solid 50.
Fantastic.
Solid 50%.
You were solidly average.
Almost passing.
Solidly right in the middle there.
I feel like that's a good American representation of our education system.
I feel like we can't disagree with you at all.
Like a good 50. I gave it a good 50%. That's. I'm proud.
I feel like we're probably just gonna get a whole lot of like really political comments in the chat in about 10 seconds. So
no, that's all right. Remember last week we had that dude who was like,
we had that crazy religious dude,
really religious or something. I love that dude.
Man, if he's listening, I am like all for him coming back on and
I bring him back. I say,
please come back and.
Now, before we get into to our talk tonight, Brindley, do you want to quickly just rush over
crap on about the event,
what's happening on, and just show off a little bit so Sophie sees all the cool stuff that goes down here in Australia when all the Americans are watching some shitty game of what they like to call football, but it's actually just a bunch of
that pigskin throwing contest happened today. I can't.
It's like rugby, but with a whole bunch of soft guys that need to wear armor. You know, the name of the game. What is it?
What? I didn't put that on. All right. So events and news down in Australia for all of you American people and anyone else who's watching, especially that random percentage of people of Estonia who seem to watch our show, and all you Canadians.
Did you know we've actually got quite a few people that watch us from Russia as well? Yeah,
it's really weird.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's guys from Frontline Gaming watch us as well, but they just don't want to admit it because we're Australian. So we know you're watching. It's okay. So for all of you people who are watching, we're actually based in Australia, in Brisbane. We're on the East Coast. It's pretty temperate here at the moment. It's actually quite nice. Last week we had a fair few tournaments alongside the LVO. We had CanCon down here in Australia, which was one of our biggest tournaments. We did a big spiel about that last week. So if you guys want to check that out, you can definitely go and check out our last show where we had a big crap on about CanCon and everything that went down there and all the crazy people doing crazy stuff. But here, so first of the rank, we've got Pubhammer, local group, April 28th. They've got 30K at BrizCon, so Death of a Dream. they'll be running that. Very exciting. It should be pretty cool. It's probably going to be done through Hassan. He's a cool guy, great TO, definitely knows his stuff. Independent kind of guy. And then up, we've got the Brisbane Independent Gamers Club. They're going to be running a club day on the 11th of February. Warrior Lodge, 18th of Feb. Warhammer, so 40k is double the invitational. Really, really exciting. It's a 3k single. It's huge. I'm going to have to get confirmation on that. I still haven't received any extra information on it because I haven't been looking. But if someone from the Royal Lodge could get in contact with me so we can clear that up, that'd be awesome. And then on the 4th of March, like 3K, if they're doing 3K, like I'm going to be taking like all of my unpainted models. I don't care. I'm just going to paint them. I'm just going to like throw 3 colors on them and just run them because that's a huge game. And they do like a really cool stuff where they are at the Clanker Tavern. March 4, they got Age of Sigma doubles events. Ryan, are we going to that?
Where?
Warrior Lodge, March 4.
No, they made it. What's the one where they like try to tell a story or something?
Oh yeah, no, it's a narrative now. Okay, so it's not.
Yeah,
it's
so
not,
I completely dropped out.
Yeah, so it's not a doubles event anymore. It's a narrative, which is still very exciting.
I think it might be a narrative doubles. I don't even know.
I don't even know. We'll find out more information tomorrow. It's all right. Magic Vault, March 10. They've got Warhammer 40k First Strike. I believe they'll be running that. Should be pretty exciting. It's going to be a cool event. It's just I think it's just a single 1,000-point event. The Maury Gaming Club, as per usual, the good people over at Maury. They run a gaming night every Monday at 7 p.m. So with any luck, they'll be listening to us. If not, oh well. And then Ryan's favorite category, the 9th Age Australian community, are going to be having events
getting together again
at BrizCon. And then on May the 6th, they're going to be having a mutiny in May, which is very exciting. And then November 17, they're going to be doing the Asia Pacific Singles Championships, which will be held at the Gaethon RSL, I believe. Where we got?
Wait, sorry, Trevor Hammersley. Brindley looks like the opening cartoon of Monty Python.
Shut up. Right, Australian Defence Force Wargaming Association, for all those serving and past serving members, they're going to be doing the Anzac Cup on the 21st of April. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Make sure if you're interested, get into that. It's actually going to be held down in Canberra. I don't know how it works with you guys, but that's going to be pretty exciting. We look forward to seeing some pictures. Good event. All proceeds go to Legacy, which is a Veterans Assist Agency. So very exciting. Gaming night, Friday night gaming. So they're a group in Orange. They actually sent someone to compete in CanCon. He did really well. I think he cleaned up in the top 20, which is very exciting out of like 80 people. February 24th, they've got a double Age of Sigmar team event. So that sounds really cool. Should be really, really exciting. March 17, they've got Overwatch and ITC Team Challenge. The second stage of their ITC Team Challenge shindigs. Then the Gamescube Sydney, they've got on the February 17th, they've got their 40k monthly. Then 18th, they've got Age of Sigmar monthly. And then February 24th, they've got their Horus Heresy at the Gamescube. So that should be really, really cool. And then second last, we have Objective Secured, 11th of February. They've got 8 Lamentations. I think, is that week? Is that this week?
Is that the AUS tournament?
Yes, it is. So this Sunday, they've got 8 Lamentations. It's an Age of Sigmar tournament, 5 games, 1250 points, and it's at the Manning Community Centre. If you're in Perth, definitely consider going there.
Oh yes, get there. They have some of the best tables and terrain that you will ever play on.
We're not paid to say this, but we have seen their quality, and like we really dig it. If we were in Perth, we'd go there. Definitely go check it out. Like if you haven't been before, you won't regret it. Great people, really well organized. Can't speak highly of them.
Can't speak highly of them. Fair enough. Well, I will.
Can't speak
they're
higher
they're
of them.
all right. They're all right.
They're all right. And then we've got BrizCon. They're going to be doing 28th, 29th of April. Should be exciting. I believe Ryan is contemplating going. I am contemplating
just rocking
up. Yeah, to BrizCon, I'm contemplating
If I can get you to finish painting my fucking Hurricaneum in time for that shit, I will most likely be there. I would love to take my Death Army. So if anybody is good at painting Death models and wants to give it a good Australian go, then I am 100% keen.
Or if anyone wants to pay me to just microwave his Hurricaneum, that's fine as well. Like I'm totally down with it.
Dude,
What's your PayPal account?
Yeah, I'll get fucked. Both of you can get.
We can just 2 minutes on high with my 2-minute noodles, mate. I'm good to go.
Yeah, no, that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
and you
can't.
get a daily dose of carcinogens too.
Yeah, I would probably eat it. If you pay extra, I'll probably eat it. I'll microwave and eat a Hurricaneum. So anyway,
that is messed up. That's
I will happily risk death just to annoy you. This is where
I'm going to tell your wife on you.
Oh, she'll be like, it's not the worst he's eaten.
She will remember that time you ate the whole tinfoil duff.
You remember that time you ate an airplane? Oh yeah. Irresistible Force, last group of the rank. Fantastic group located down in Tanamera, 10th of February. So this weekend they have Brother in Arms, a 40k doubles tournament. Myself and Ryan should be attending. Still working out the details. Ryan's obviously working himself out. He's probably.
I may have work.
He's gonna pussy out.
No. Fuck.
Pussy out because he can't play 40k.
There actually is something else. There is another event, and it's not really an event. However, I will be at Irresistible Force not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I will be inside their store, and I will have with me 7,000 points of order.
Ew.
Oh my god.
Timmy, friend of the show, good mate of mine, if you're watching this, I challenge you and your filthy chaos horde to a grand battle, to a match of the ages.
So wait. You're bailing on me on a 40k event so you can flop your dicks out with Age of Sigmar.
No.
You are the
that
worst.
sounds pretty accurate.
I'm actually
100% on point.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I will be there, and basically what I would like to do is invite Age of Sigmar players from the community here in Brisbane to meet me at Irresistible Force, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, from 10 o'clock onwards. And bring your AOS. There's plenty of tables. There's plenty of space, and I would love to meet you guys and catch up and have a laugh, throw some dice, and talk about Age of Sigmar, talk about BrizCon that's coming up and that sort of thing, and try to see if we can't help build up an awesome Age of Sigmar community on the south side of Brisbane.
There's also Sunday, goes for Sunday. All your 9th Age players. Like if you guys want to go and hang out.
9th Age players are more than welcome to come as well.
Go and teach Ryan about a real game.
Hey man, I'm keen to learn if somebody's keen to teach. So, but look, honestly, I would love to meet everybody, and I will be there. I will be playing a massive game, and I would really love to see some of you there as well at Irresistible Force. So, check out their website. They're good friends of the show here as well. Brindley and I go and buy a lot of plastic crack from them.
We do buy a lot of plastic crack.
We do buy a lot of plastic crack. But look, so that's where I am. And also, surprise, Sophie's going to be getting a plane ticket and flying down here next Sunday as well.
Should be fun.
Yeah, totes. Get that one past
surprise, surprise, boss, surprise work.
Yeah. Hey, honey, I'm gonna be gone a few days.
Go play.
But I'd love to see you all there.
And then, all right, so now that I've got to find myself a new doubles partner.
No, I'm not saying you've got to fucking shut.
For Brothers in Arms, you sack of shit. You Age of Sigmar piece of shit. You are a Sigmatard through and through.
I will.
Negative.
I'm trying to keep this thing down because it keeps coming up. I will most likely be there, Brindley.
Okay, so all right, so March 17th they've got Scouting Natalis, another cool event. April 7th they've got Forsax 2. I went to Forsax 1, really cool event, 1,000-point 40k tournament. They always do a good show. And then on the 14th of April they've got the Southeast Queensland Teams Tournament, 3-man teams, German format. I don't know what a German format is, but it sounds exciting and foreign, so I will probably be going to that as well. So we'll go there. That should be fun. I'm very excited for it. See how it goes. And yeah, we'll go from there. Look, that's all the news. That's everyone. We don't have heaps going on at the moment because everything kind of died off towards CanCon, and then it's kind of like petered off again. Like next week, everything's going to start kicking off. So for those of you who are wanting games this weekend, it's good news. Obviously, you got Tanamir and a couple of other ones. I mean, I'm sure Games Workshop Mount Gravatt and the other local Games Workshops, Capella by Chermside, will be having some similar stuff going on.
Capalla's got a AOS tournament coming up soon. I don't think tickets are available yet, but there's only 10 spots available for it. And Jamie and I both want to try and get one. So that's coming up soon as well. There's heaps coming up. It just depends on what system you're into, I guess. But who cares about 40k? Just come and play AOS with me next Sunday. Also, Michael from Objective Secured has asked how much I'm offering to paint my Death Army. I will give you 2 paper clips and all the belly button lint I can muster. I think that's a fair deal. I think
that's a negative.
Sounds like the typical commission fee. Yeah. Or offer for commission work.
Yeah.
a bit jaded
like,
there. Jaded.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours of my work. What's that worth? About 2 paper clips and some belly button. Yeah.
Oh, or they start
Sounds about right.
You'll be painting an army for them, and they'll be like, oh, and they're like, oh, so, they'll ask you for a quote like initially before you start the job, and you give them a quote for like realistically what it is, and like you'll usually be, charging something like $10 a miniature, like at a good rate, and like they're still like, oh, that's really expensive. Like,
it's like, do you realize that's not even minimum wage? That's
and I'm like, do you understand? Like, it takes like 2-3 hours to paint one of these guys to this standard, and you're just like,
yeah.
Do you know it takes like 6-12 months just to paint one Hurricane, Sophie?
Yeah, you know how long it
really?
it takes exactly 90 seconds to turn it into like plastic scrap. So.
Right, moving on. So, hi to Wednesday. It's nice of you to join us. Obviously, Wednesday is happy that hashtag Hobo King was able to make it.
That's
now,
right.
Moving on. I can let you guys all know now, Brindley's hobby recently has consisted of 3/5 of fuck all. Otherwise, I would have more painted miniatures at my house, but I don't. So,
you could make it your own hobby and paint your own miniatures.
Yeah, Ryan, paint your own.
This is what I did for Brindley. All right, this was painful.
Oh yeah, okay. So everyone's seen this like bag of sprue in Ryan's hand. Ryan sees something offensive.
God damn.
Yeah,
sprues,
good.
Man.
Right, so this pile of sprue. This is actually up for grabs for people. This is for prizes. We've actually got. Wait, how many bags? Is it just the one bag?
It's one very big bag. Like
one very big bag for prizes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of DACA in here. There is a lot of DACA in here.
We also have Stormcast and like these Plague Walkers of Nurgle to give away that probably at some point. So we're gonna work out a prize for that. For a competition.
That we shall.
I've been doing heaps of hottie. Thank you very much. I've been doing Guard and Primaris, and I painted a cool little banner. Oh, look at that. Oh, look. Oh, it's more painted than your Hurricaneum. Oh no.
I hate you so much.
Ryan's Hurricane is slowly coming along. Got like bits and pieces going on. No.
You suck.
But other than that, it's mostly Primaris because that's actually a paid commission. So.
Right.
Oh, God damn it! All right,
Yeah.
can we?
You mean you don't like belly button lint?
Yeah. I've
Who
got
doesn't like
a lot
belly
of belly
button?
button lit around
I
here.
don't know. So before we get into, I'm just on a serious note for a second. Before we get on to Sophie and everything that is Hobbyistgirl, earlier before the show, I mentioned to Brindley, and I'll just say it now. I'd like to start a new show, a new question competition show. So sort of like part of this show where I would like you guys, everybody who watches, to send us questions. I would hope that they were hobby related. And then we will try to answer them for you in the most non-politically correct way possible. Yeah. And I will have a prize, a small prize for the person whose question is asked on our show. Yeah. And it will differ. The prizes will differ depending on the quality of your question. So if you have a hobby question that you'd like answered by AUSHAMMER in an AUSHAMMEry way, please send them through to us. You can tweet at the AUSHAMMERcast, or you can send us a Facebook message. We will get them. We will collate them. And each week, Brindley and I are going to read one of those questions. And then we will attempt to, in an AUSHAMMEry way, answer them for you on cast. And we will also obviously involve the guests. Now, obviously, because I've only just sprung this on Brindley now as well, I've prepared tonight's question. And I would like Brindley to answer it with the help of Sophie. Oh, God. So wait, we're aiming for the least politically correct answer possible. Correct. All right. Just a disclaimer for those of you who are easily offended. You literally
go now. This could be bad.
It's going to be horrendous because I don't have a hobby-related question because Sophie knows everything and she shared all of that information with me already. So I know everything about hobby now. So this is my question to you both that I'd like you to answer. Oh, God. Why don't they just call anal bleaching changing your ringtone?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, I mean, okay, so I can firstly see a couple of cell phone companies having an initial problem with that, but it'd be easier to market because you can put that on a sign and people will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna pop in here and change my ringtone." I'm gonna change my ringtone. I don't know. Maybe we should open up like an anal bleaching studio. Like we can call it AUSHAMMER Anal Bleach. That is the most messed up thing ever in my entire life. Why are you actually even talking about this? You disgust me. And then we can find out. We can just we'll just do it. We'll just call it anal bleaching for like a month, and then we'll call it changing your ringtone for a month. Tonight on AUSHAMMER. How to make your guest uncomfortable in 15 seconds. Well, I mean, like that was show number 3, so we're already here. You don't need to call it anything else. So now, so that everybody understands, the name of the game is somebody's going to ask a question. We're going to answer them one every week, and we will have a prize for the person whose question gets asked. I will sort those prizes out. Brindley, I'm sorry, I don't know what they are yet. If you're having your anal bleached, then please leave a comment and let us know if you would prefer to like call it changing your ringtone. Well, but just think about it. Like, you can't be like all those beauty stores can't advertise that, but they can put on their signs, you know, manicure, pedicure, Brazilian, change your ringtone. That's pretty good.
Right.
Thank you. I've just helped a small business out somewhere. I can feel it. Someone's going to be like, definitely for the consideration, then.
Right.
Okay.
I can definitely see how there would be confusion, though. What's your main cellular provider down there?
Well, it's not Comcast, thank God.
Like here we have Verizon, and they're already so full of shit that I think that there might be some confusion.
This conversation's already gone on longer than I thought it would.
What do you want?
Wednesday. Hashtag. Did you just assume my ringtone?
Yeah.
If anyone needs a bit of anal bleaching, it's that person right there.
Just tweet at Brinley.
Yeah, do it.
He will sort you out.
Hashtag Hey
All right.
King. Hashtag King of the Ringtone.
King of the ringtone. Oh my god. That's fantastic.
So I think we've well and truly put that one through the ringer. Let's move on.
Butt joke.
Before we make a bigger ass of ourselves. So
you done?
no, I'm sorry, they're really shitty.
They're starting to
Oh my god, this is painful.
It's getting hairy. Okay, cool. So,
it shouldn't be hairy. It's bleached.
Can you shut the fuck up for a second? Whose stupid idea was this game? All right, so I want to get into some hobby, and I'd really like to hear about yours tonight, and I think everybody else would as well. Nobody cares about Brenley's because he doesn't do shit, and I can't anyway because I suck.
Paint like a 2-year-old.
So I do paint like a 2-year-old. That's true. So send free painted minis to @Brian. No,
microwave minis.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. What was it that got you into the hobby in the first place, Sophie?
It was a group of friends that we all got into second edition back in the day, and I ended up splitting a box set. I took the orcs and he took the Marines. And then, I mean, before that, I guess even before, I got into gaming with this card game that was getting really popular called Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
yeah. It was
How do you have any money?
This brand new card game that people were starting to play. So that's kind of what introed me into the whole fantasy thing as far as gaming is concerned. And then some tabletop D&D. And then it wasn't until probably the late 90s that we got into, Lord of the Rings, Mark Shaw. I read those like when I was, I think in like middle school. So there was already a pre-existing condition, I'll call it, for nerddom. Yeah.
It's a disease.
But it was probably around 97 when second edition was active that I got into it, and it just started slowly building upon over the years.
So I'm so sorry. Chat is going.
Have they just gone mental?
Really, there is something wrong with the people that watch this show. Like,
they're all valued people.
Okay, so Wednesday, AUSHAMMER, ringtone solutions for the whole family.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The miniatures paintbrush, the family plan. David Radovic, this whole convo rings false.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Fucked up. I love it.
Yeah, that's
you guys are all sorts of broken.
That is, all of you should probably, you need help. All of you need help, and we're right there with you. So let's all just go together. Lord of the Ringtones, that is correct. Okay, so that's how you got into the hobby.
Yep.
Now tell me about a time where you almost got out of the hobby.
Well, around, I want to think 2010, and I've kind of taken breaks here and there. Around 2010, I actually lost, I'd say 99% of what I had. I managed to salvage this. And you can kind of see it's still a little dirty because I had everything in my basement and my home flooded. We had to be evacuated. Yeah, it was a mess. Like there was nothing that I could do. Like people were, there's a big community help. I had people scooping like mud that was like part mud, part like paint pots and everything, like just scooping it and shoveling it out. Yeah, I lost everything. And it took me a while to have a mindset of, okay, I'm ready to rebuild that, just because in paint alone, like I had like the full blacktop set of paints, and most were still in good conditions, but I was starting to, get the newer ones. They were all gone. So trying to get back into that just was such a daunting idea that it was really something
Wow.
that eventually I was like, all right, I need to slowly get in. Blood Bowl was what got me back in.
Nice.
That's a
wanna
change.
think-
Usually that gets people out. Okay, cool.
I think that was what, early 2017, wasn't it? Blood Bowl, or
Yeah,
late
that was about then.
2016, around there. Yeah, I want to say my official back into the hobby was like February 2017.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next question that I would ask, and at any time feel free to say that you can't answer it. If your fiance had to sum up your hobby in one sentence, what do you think it would be? I love this question
It depends on the
so
day.
goddamn much.
It depends on the day, because she's very supportive, but at the same time, it's definitely a money sink to her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That, you know what? That seems very similar to others as well. So, for example, Brindley, what would your sentence be?
What?
If the Minister of War and Finance had to explain your hobby in one sentence, what would it be?
That strange little thing he does with plastic people. And then if you'd ask my son, it'd be Daddy's Little Men.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. There you go.
So.
That's it doesn't matter what country you're from. It's always a struggle.
It's universal.
Now, I did promise that I would do this earlier, so I'm going to do it now. Why on earth is it that there's two people in your home, but only one of them hobbies?
Actually, there's 3 people in my home. We have a roommate.
And how many of them hobby?
I actually bought the new starter set because my roommate wanted the Nurgle Marines. She hasn't done anything with them, but she's modeled, or she's put them together. So she's done as much as you do with the hobby, Ryan.
Oh, holy shit! I see how it is.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I see. You just go with the flow there, and just wherever the wind takes you, just change sides like that on me. That's fine.
But yeah, my fiance does not do any sort of hobby related things.
Well, I think there's nobody. That's your fault. You need to definitely probably just up your game a little bit and really work on that. I think it's.
I want to say that you see it as a negative. I see it as a positive, because women tend to share things more, steal them, like clothes. Like last week, trying to find a clean pair of panties and having her wearing all of mine. She would be at my desk constantly, and I would never be able to paint. So it's kind of strategic.
Oh, look, that happens with me and Brindley all the time. The day where he stops
panties?
wearing my underwear is probably the day that hell freezes over. So
yeah, and Ryan's always sitting at my paint desk, doing nothing.
Yeah, looking at all of my unpainted miniatures, going when.
So, and I spend enough money as it is. Not having to share that with someone is fantastic.
It's not actually a bad plan, I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably pretty clever.
Yeah, right? Careful what you wish for if you want a significant other that is in the hobby.
I mean,
because then they know how much everything really costs.
Kudos to everyone who has like a partner who's in the hobby. I think that's really great. But personally, I'd be mortified if my wife actually knew how much I spent on Warhammer. Like, she knew the actual prices and not what I told her. Like, I'd be dead.
Hey, bro, she's actually standing behind you right now.
So when they ask you if you want the receipt, you're like, no.
Yeah, don't print that.
Yeah, do not press that print button. Just burn that. Actually, I'm gonna have to ask you just to clear your database now.
Right.
She will find it.
They always do.
Always.
So that's how you got in. That's a time where you nearly got out as well. And what is it about the hobby that keeps you going in between?
Right now, it's a lot of it is social media. I mean,
Nice.
I feel very fortunate. I got into a really good group of people on Twitter, and that's really what's been driving me as of late. This is probably not the longest stint I've had in the hobby by any means, but it's the strongest that I've had. While I used to do commission work and everything, I haven't been doing commission work like I used to, but I never really put any of it online. Like maybe like pictures on a blog, like on a or a forum to show people what I was doing, like in a mass group, but nothing like a website or Twitch streaming. So that's really it's a little narcissistic, but I mean it really kind of helps the hobby along. I think it helps me keep deadlines and keeps me going.
I agree 100%. Since I started posting stuff onto Instagram, I'm much more motivated to paint, because a lot of people like it, like even if they're just liking it or they're commenting on it. It's a good boost. It's good encouragement to actually get out there. And like I see a lot of people who comment on things, like I see like my friends, they'll paint and I'm just like, oh, you should put that on Instagram. They're like, oh no, it's not good enough. I'm like, dude, like just throw it out there. Like I'm not saying people post absolute garbagely painted miniatures on Instagram, but they do. But the point is that that's where they're at in the hobby, and that's fine. Like that's totally fine. Like if you can only manage like tabletop standard and that takes you hours to get to, god damn it, post it. Like own that and be proud of it. Like you're not gonna and just start throwing more paint on more miniatures. Like be like, I mean, Ryan's seen my first miniature, my drummer boy, who's painted in like, circus
He looks
colors.
like a more colourful version of Gumby. In fact, if Gumby and Captain Planet had a love child, that would be that miniature.
And then if that love child used like a turd to beat a drum, then that would probably be pretty close to my miniature. So, like, it was, it's not pretty, but I'm proud of it, and so I think everyone should be proud of, those miniatures. And I think social media, getting your stuff out on social media, regardless of quality, is really, really important. Like we love seeing your stuff. Like we did stalk your account for a bit and checked out all of your crazy orcs. Ryan, have you
Bradley stalked your account?
Have we got pictures? Have we got pictures to show of Sophie's stuff?
I've got a whole bunch of stuff, but you're just talking.
All right. Well, can you throw it up and lock your screen so we can Google over, just dribble over some amazingly painted orcs?
Oh god.
You're an amazingly painted orc.
I know I am.
You see what I did there? Oh yeah.
All
right, let's do this.
I mean, my mum's, a troll, so. Look at these guys. Look at these amazing.
Yeah,
orcs.
those are my freebooters. I started those. Those were one of my first 40K rebirths, I guess.
Really, really exciting. Oh man, I love this stuff. I want to. You had a war boss on a bike. That was amazing.
Yeah.
You had a wagon. That was really cool. Like a lot of your speed freak stuff. I absolutely love how you've done the red. Your boys are like.
They're bloody badass.
They're so good. They're so good. Look at this. Look at this.
So
this
that's
isn't an orc.
No. Okay. So let me delve into that a little bit. So
yes,
this is a Rainbow Warriors Venerable Dreadnought that I did. So me and two other people
I love it.
On Twitter, we are actually the powers that be, I'll say, for a group called #Rainbow Warriors Project. And what we did was we assembled donations and got quite a sizable Space Marine army in donations, and we had 15 artists total paint up a Rainbow Warriors army to be raffled off, and the proceeds go to a charity called Contessa, which promotes diversity in gaming.
That's
So
amazing.
that's where that's from. That was my and the base is just a placeholder. We had someone do all resin bases for them. The Lonely Havoc on Twitter. My friend Dan, he's one of the others in the group, and he did all the bases for them, and it was a lot of fun. It was my first major project. I think that Dreadnought was over 120 hours
Wow,
to
that's
do.
amazing.
All of those bits there were mostly from the Engine of the Gods. You probably recognize that head truss from the front of it. The front of the sarcophagus was actually the steps for the Engine of the Gods, like for that where the
Oh, wow.
skink priest does. And I cut them all out, and I had to sand them down paper thin. And I essentially made, like, remember those really shitty puzzles that you got, and you had to slide all the little pieces.
yeah, those
Oh yeah, those were cool.
I essentially made one of those for the front of that Dreadnought out of the steps of that.
Shit. Yeah, that's bloody awesome. I dig it. And then back here, where is it?
So if you go to the fourth one,
Oh, my bad.
that shows all the
Here we go.
So there's the work in progress unpainted. I believe work in progress 4 shows them all painted.
Oh man, that's awesome. Look at these guys. These, like, the speed freak stuff is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of
It's been a blast to do. I generally have all 4 Mad Max movies running like in the background, just kind of watching them, as I go, and the little bits and pieces of inspiration pick up, like the skull spears that the bikers have, and I think I put on the truck. They actually came from those spear bombs from Fury Road. That's where that idea kind of was forged from.
For anyone who's
That's
actually
badass.
wondering, like, driving in Australia is exactly like every Mad Max movie that you've seen.
And I had said that, yeah.
That is actually how Brinley and I get to work every day. So Sophie, you're lucky that we're here tonight to talk to you, because it's just dangerous out there.
I'm glad you had enough gasoline to get home.
We definitely did.
Those killer kangaroos. If we're not fighting off drop bears or crocodiles, we're like trying to kill each other on the roads.
That is badass.
The hoop snakes. Can't forget about the hoop snakes.
Look at this stuff, man. This is so awesome.
Man, I'm just always so happy to see another very, very, very passionate artist on the show. It's talking to Ryan all the time. It's a rare experience.
Well, so first of all, fuck you, Brinley. But also, so I have a friend named Alex, who I believe you would have met as well, Brinley. And he had a beautifully painted orc army as well.
That's right.
The airborne stuff. But I mean, check this out. This is that's just cool. That is
pretty stuff.
He was a blast to paint too. I love that model. He's the only one in the army that, like, I looked at that that Forge World model, and I'm like, I can't touch him. There's no conversion I can do that would make it better than what it already is. I just left him how he was.
There's just so much personality in the newer orc models.
That's so cool.
Like here, so he's crunching down on a piece of bone, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Like there's just there's a good amount of diversity.
A lot of what I went for, especially with the Orc Boys, is I wanted to give more of a low-tech savage feel, kind of more like a Gorka Morka tribe versus like a typical orc army. So I incorporated a lot of the fantasy savage orc bits. Like that's
Yeah.
where all the spears came from, because I imagine they would want something to kind of jam at people from like their trucks. And that's where all the heads came from as well. The one with the bone and most of them, just because their facial expressions. And I used the Savage Orc heads before. That's where I got the idea on my freeboot. Is just because I really liked the expressions on them. They were all just kind of like screaming like they were mid-wah.
Love it.
That's badass.
Orcs are just there's so much room for conversion with orcs. You can never really go wrong either.
Right. Well,
And
I
they just-
think there's a happy medium with them, because with other armies the conversion work has to be very clean,
Oh,
but with orcs you can't just cobble something together per se and do it. It's kind of like how you have to learn to do something and then you have to learn how to do it but make it look like you did it badly. If you know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah.
like you kind of have to. It's a completely different skill set to make something look bad in a good way.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's a trick, and like games like the orcs have always had this really unique look ever since, like, obviously when they first came out. I mean, Gorka Morka was really the start of like
Ah,
the really crazy conversions, but now like
right.
they've built the kits so they're already pre-converted to a degree. I think that's really cool, but I think, you know, it's something they could almost tone down a little bit so that they could
Right.
allow other people to be like, oh, this would look really crazy if it was like this, like, you know, instead of using a Tarox, using like a Chimera shows. Mind you, in saying that, orc players tend to be a little bit insane to start with, so I don't know if we need to
Yeah,
encourage
tell me
them
about it, mate. We're
to be,
talking a lot.
yeah, don't know if we need
Well,
to actually encourage them.
it also seems to be a precursor from the old days where, um, not so much now because they're trying to standardize everything more a little bit. But back in the older editions, granted, I wasn't really that much of a player, but you still had a codex, and half of it didn't even have models. Like
Oh yeah,
there wasn't a model for a battle wagon. There wasn't a model for half the stuff. So you just had to be creative and do conversions.
just wing it.
So my next, I haven't really talked much about it, but I picked up one of these.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Here we
this
go.
is
Oh.
early brainstorm. I picked up a box of Skaven Pestilence,
Ooh.
They go really
and
well with Noble.
I'm going to create a battle wagon that is essentially just a big cart that's being pulled by
Ooh, I
this guy.
like this. Oh, that's gonna be really cool.
So this is
That
going
is
to be
gonna be the shit.
it's going to be my count as Defrola, and it's just going to be a cart being pulled by a colossal squig. And my idea is I want to have a grot kind of laying on top of him with a pole dangling another grot in front of him, and that's how that's how they
Yeah.
steer it.
It's awesome. That is brilliant.
So, as far as hobby goes and everything like that, like you cover quite a lot of social media. There's quite a lot of people that are already following you. How do you maintain hobby and hobby? I mean, like, that's because essentially there's just two different hobbies that you've got going on there, and they're very they're related to each other, obviously. But
How do you fight up the
keep up?
boards?
Yeah, where's your?
I keep up with it very poorly. Like essentially Twitter is where I toss everything. So that's where things get seen first. And then it's a matter of, oh crap, I haven't posted on my website this week. I should probably do that. And Instagram I've been trying to do and I completely forget that it even exists. So like, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably put something up, and that's usually like a couple weeks later after I posted something on Twitter. And then there's Facebook, which, fuck, every once in a great while I put something on Facebook, but Instagram and Facebook are my newest. Granted, I've always had a Facebook account, but that's been more family oriented, and I just now have an account that's just dedicated to this. So I'm trying to kind of incorporate that, but it's been very difficult to keep it all, to juggle it all properly.
Yeah. Well, your social media is in our video description. So anybody who didn't hear me earlier and is watching now, go to the links, like and subscribe and follow, and all the rest of it, retweets and Facebook thumbs ups and all the things, all the social things. Do all of the things, because
all the social stuff.
Really,
all the social.
Now, I wanted to touch on your blog more so than it, because we like, a lot of people know about Twitter, a lot of people know about Facebook, and a lot of people are able to go to those pages and go to those outlets and actually put up a photo and say, hey everyone, look at my work in progress. But a successful and wholesome blog, like something that's full of information like yours is, and detail and pictures and all that sort of stuff,
nice pictures,
and is updated frequently as well, is not something that's easy to do. Have you got anything that, I mean, you'd like to say to those that might be thinking of doing something similar, or any words of encouragement and help?
Just I guess the only word of encouragement that I can think of is just put yourself on a schedule for it. I've tried to, that was kind of my goal for 2018, because my blog is kind of short-lived, I guess I'll say. It came around the same time as my website, around September, August-ish. I can't remember. It's all fucking blur. And I had I had gaps. I had big gaps where like I don't think I posted anything in October, and I could have had like I should have done something for my Armies on Parade. So like now it's like I at least need to get something once a week on there, and I think that's probably your best bet, is just to set a goal of, all right, I'm going to post every Wednesday or every Thursday on my blog, and just kind of go from there.
So it's like you just set short-term goals, and then you meet that, and then you go to the next one and the next one?
Yep, and then you can, once you've got that done. And it's hard. I mean, I don't think I got one in last week, because there's times where I like, especially the unpainted work in progress, I can show, but right now it's like I have things half painted. Like I don't feel like I really want to show all of that until it's finished painting. So like, what do I do? So I'm actually going to, I've had a lot of questions of like my paint setup and everything. So I think I'm going to do one of those, just so I can be like, oh, I met my goal. and then hopefully next week I can actually show, meaningful content.
Well, I think I look forward to you opening up a few AOS boxes. There's a there's a website or a forum called the Grand Alliance that has a good place there as well to add your photos and that too. And I think you might find that once you start that, you're just going to sort of adopt another following as well of like-minded individuals. Now, I'm going to touch on this briefly, but it has just occurred to me, you're female. Now, I know, shock horror. So we all know that obviously, as far as the male-female race.
Because you weren't here, Brinley, I introduced myself as Brinley with a boob job.
Oh shit! Yeah, good. Yeah. That makes sense. I'm sure no one would have questioned it. That'd have been like, that's about right.
That makes completely sense.
Actually, nobody did. But I mean,
was your hobby not as expensive enough?
Yeah, exactly. If you want anything else to drop 15K on,
right.
So the ratio is a bit skewed towards the male hobbyists, and is that something that that comes up in conversation a lot? Is it something that affects your hobby at all?
More so before than now. At the current moment, it doesn't really affect it too much. Local wise, I mean, I'm at a Warhammer store that has a female store manager, 2 female on call. So like all the employees at that store are female. So it's kind of, I mean, we're the only ones per se, but at least it's female driven, so you don't really have like, you don't feel like a minority, even though you still technically are.
Well,
And
so now we just found out where the Sisters of Battle are. There we go.
yeah, we're hoarding them all. They've actually been released for a couple years.
Yeah, they've had classic sisters out. They're just in New York when we're not getting
Yeah. And with Twitter though, it's amazing how while locally it might feel like there's none or only 1 or 2. If you look on Twitter, there's so many, not just female hobbies, but really fucking good female hobbyists.
So what's up with
And
the whole stigma of chicks don't hobby?
it's still a minority, and I think that you get the extremes that you have the really good painters, and there are some that are just more casual, but the casual is a few, like few and far between, and there is still it's a hard thing for females to get into. Sometimes it can seem a little uninviting with certain groups. So locally,
All right, that's only because you chose 40K, all right, and that's where all the big records are. If you'd come over to AOS, you'd be sweet.
But there are so I go to my Warhammer store, but that I don't go there because of anything other than I feel comfortable there. There's probably about 4 or 5 other game stores that I could go in my area, but they all are kind of like they don't feel comfortable. It's just there's a vibe that a lot of gamers put out that they don't necessarily maybe want you around.
Is that because they're really clicky, or is that more to do with like a lack of deodorant?
Yes. It could be both. It could be both, but it's just something that you pick up on rather quickly, and then you either find some place that you do belong in, or you, I think, move on. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh.
But
so that's to me that's really disappointing, because like what I don't understand how a community can get like that. So I find that really disappointing that people look to come into the hobby and might feel that way. That's no good. So I mean, to me that's something for everybody in our hobby to be aware of. Really, take note of it.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah, I think and I don't think there's any reason why it couldn't get even better faster. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not
right.
There's no need for that sort of shit. People shouldn't feel like that, especially in our hobby. So, if anyone out there is listening to this that may be one of the people that make others feel uncomfortable, you're a dick.
If you aren't actually, like, I mean, if you're not really aware, I mean, it's not a, I don't know, I suppose it's not a huge issue, but it's definitely an underlying issue that obviously has continued on with the stigma of the hobby itself. But I think today, now, we're all getting a lot better, I think. We're seeing a lot more inclusion. The fact that wargaming is becoming nearly mainstream is certainly bringing towards.
Well, it's like I fully intend to make sure that both my daughters play Warhammer with me.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Their mother would probably not call it fantastic.
And your son's had a game or two with us already, so we've done quite well.
He's unfortunately he's gravitating towards 40K, but I don't feel like I've lost him yet. There's still hope for that kid, so I'll see how that goes. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that really briefly because it is an issue that's out there, and I don't like that people might not feel welcome in the hobby. Everybody's welcome. Personally, I don't really give a shit if you're male, female, or if you
Right.
even identify as any gender whatsoever. None of it matters to me. So just come throw some dice, and that's how all of you should feel. All right, so moving on. The next question that I had for you was probably more around the basing. Now, I've seen a lot of painted miniatures tonight, but I don't see a lot of basing. Would you say that that perhaps your focus is on the miniature and not the base as much?
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is a safe space. You can admit your faults here.
Oh God, yeah. Basing is one of my big faults. Right now, my basing amounts to about one of these pots. I use the
Oh look, Brinley,
texture
she's already still done more than you with my hurricane.
Nice
yeah,
extra micro, buddy.
use those a lot, but it's always been something that I felt I need a lot more work on is my basing.
And so I'm going to put a challenge out there then. Would you do a base of a model, all flash and shiny, send us some photos so we can put it on our show?
Just the base?
By
yeah,
March.
bonus points if there's a broken hurricane on there somewhere.
by March, could we show everybody a Hobbyistgirl base? But it can't be like a 25 mil. There's none of this cheap shit. It's got to be, I'm talking like...
How about that?
Yeah, bang. That size. All right, cool.
Okay, I can do that.
I want to see something.
Yeah, wicked.
Yes, the challenge has been made down.
Unfortunately, I never did much with them. Where the fuck are they? I do have
I'll be right
bases
back.
I started like these.
Oh, you're stuck with me now.
Actually a bit more intricate.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Are those resin or are those ones that you made up?
Nope, those are ones that I made up with
that's really cool.
like broken up plaster pieces.
Nice. That's what you want to do. I've got at the moment, so all that for the people who don't know, that stuff that they sell in the pots, the Games Workshop pots, that agar I can't remember what's it called. It's like a moon base or something. It's like,
so they have a bunch of them. The ones that I use for my current orcs, because I want more of like a Death Valley feel to them, I believe it's called a Grelin Earth, and that's what gives it that. It's kind of like that Mars like Death Valley look, but instead of being red, it's the light brown tan color, like this.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm pretty cheap. I actually make my own. I actually mix painting with sand and glue, and then I just use that for a base. So
oh, fuck off, Brinley. All right, we all know you also use kitty litter.
Oh man, kitty litter is like one of the greatest basing materials known to man. Like, I'm a huge fan.
I used to do that before they made those, but now that they make it, it's like
you're like, meh.
Yeah, I'll take a shortcut if I can.
Yeah. Also, cork, like just like layered cork, is actually really.
Yep.
That's definitely a favorite now. I've been doing that for a couple of miniatures.
See, I actually do know how to do some of it. One thing that I'll do is I'll do stacks of cork, and then if you take this stuff here, this Crayola air dry clay, and water it down a lot, you can spread it over it, and then take like a toothbrush or something and lightly go against it, and it'll give it more of a rocky texture.
Oh, what was that? Crayola? Like Crayola?
Yep, it's Crayola air dry clay. Like here you can get it at like a Michael's. I don't know what your hobby stores are down there. Like your generic, like where us basic white women go for our our decoupage stuff and for our sewing needs.
Well, if you're a basic white woman and you shop in Australia, tell us where you go so we can get some clay for our little plastic people.
Yeah, like here we have Michael's or AC Moore or Someone saying Bunnings. Is that a store or
Oh,
is
yeah,
that?
Bunnings is a
Yeah,
store.
I don't know if Bunnings didn't have it. Like, they've got sausages, so who knows?
Yeah, actually, that's the best thing about going to. So Bunnings is like a massive hardware store.
It's
over
like
here,
Walmart, except
but-
they only sell
yeah.
hardware.
And on top of that, whenever you go there, before you get to the entrance, there's always like a tent set up where they've got like a barbecue and sausages and stuff, and
So
just
good. It's
you know,
so good.
pay $1 and get a sausage and bread with some sauce.
Oh, it's
Is it
un-Australian
sad
rugby.
that I saw Bunnings and I thought either that's a store or that's a weird Australian swear slang term that I just don't know. I thought
It's
someone was
probably
just
both.
oh, Bunnings.
It's probably both now. Now that you've mentioned it, it's now a
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
Bunnings has now
nobody
become-
swears like Australians, though.
Yeah, we're pretty ruthless. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, damn straight.
Cool.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the hobby, and we've also covered your blog. We've covered your Twitter, and we've covered your Facebook. Now, the last thing, and I've also done the basing as well. The last thing is, how is it that you're able to work for GW and also have time for your own hobby? I mean, you spend a lot of time helping other people with their hobby. Is that burning you out at all, or?
There are days where like I don't work full time there, but I'm more of like an on-call person. But usually if I do, it's like a Saturday and it's an all-day thing, like a 10-hour shift. So when I normally like when I work my my normal job, I come home, eat dinner, and then I'm like painting or doing something at my desk until I go to bed.
Cool.
Those days, I'm like, I don't want to fucking look at another miniature. I'm gonna hop on and play some PUBG or something. Like,
Yeah.
so it's few and far between, but there are days where I'm like, I'm worn out. I need to not deal with miniatures.
Well,
That's
if
so
at any
good.
time you don't want any miniatures, just feel free to send them to us.
Send
down
them
here,
over,
so,
yeah.
yeah, definitely, all the way.
I
All right,
will.
well,
Ryan will paint them for you. Wow.
we will. We are definitely going to have to call it a night.
Okay.
But before we close off for the evening, I do want to again say, make sure that everybody gets to hobbyistgirl.com. Please go onto Twitter and follow her on there as well. It's always awesome to see some of the work that you put out, and I really appreciate everything that you're doing for the hobby community as well.
Well, thank you. It's been great being on here and talking to you guys. So thank you for having me.
I'm really sorry about Brinley. He's a terrible human being. I will try to make sure that his computer doesn't work for the entire show next time. So
Whatever. I'm here.
I'm glad you were able to make it, Brinley.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
what would
Someone
be-
appreciates me, Ryan. You piece of shit.
Yeah, you're Brinley 2.0 now. So the other thing as well is it'd be really cool if maybe we could get you back on later on in the year as well to see your progress between now and then.
Oh, yes,
especially once you get into the AOS stuff as well.
Because you're currently the reigning champ for Guess That Booty, so...
Yeah, you might need to come back and defend your title.
Yeah, you might actually need to come back and defend your title, so...
Yeah,
also,
let me know. I'd love to come back.
Yeah. And also...
all about that booty.
As Brinley alluded to, we have Graham McNeil coming on the show soon, followed
very
behind
closely
by Dan Abnett as
name.
Brinley decided to spoil. But we do also have somebody else coming on shortly after that as well that Brinley won't spoil because I will murder him.
I actually don't know. I haven't read the email, so I know it's
That's
there.
the spirit. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Not a now problem.
All right, well, so from everybody here at AUSHAMMER, thank you very much, Sophie. Hobbyist Girl again, check her out. Like and subscribe and all the rest of that goodness. Find her on Twitch as well. I'm going to straight after this show, and Brinley will as well once he figures out how to power up his
Dorito
fucking
machine.
prehistoric laptop.
It's so old. It's so old. Oh, leave it alone. It's doing a job. The fact
What was
that
it that you said the last science project you did on it was fire?
last year, pretty much. Like me and Jesus worked on it in the 3rd grade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's just terrible.
No.
Bloody hell. Alrighty, guys. So, Brinley, take us out, buddy.
For all of you who have been joining us tonight. Thank you very much for those of you who joined us in the chat. It's always been a privilege to have you there, verbally abusing us and our poor people that we bring onto this show. For all of the information in our show, kindly check out not only our Facebook and Twitter and other social media accounts, but also Hobbyistgirl as well. And be sure to check out the events we mentioned. We'll be in and around. Like and subscribe. Catch you guys later. Can I put my pants on now?